right. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. 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 Call Halayim Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashim Achak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to all sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, laboring in honesty, sincerity, charity, and sound doctrine. And to the dead in Yahweh Shah, because they shall arise first. All right, my name is Maka Allah Ben Gab and Yasharala. I'm back with another lesson, quick video for you. And basically, America's they're trying to build a laser as a defense for missiles that comes to this place. And they said they're using the same technology as what's that when you go to the market and you scan something. They're using that same technology as that. When it's too little, too late for America. And that right there lets you know that they really don't have no defense for these missiles, man. So they've been sold the American people out. And basically telling you now in this video, but they want this to be done by 2021 or 2022. So they're trying to rush it. And then that also lets you know, too, they're trying to prepare for that war in heaven, when they want to fight against Yahweh Shah when he comes back with the heavenly angels. But, hey, man, they're going to lose, and they're going to lose horribly. But without further ado, I'm going to play the video.
The Pentagon is just a short couple of years away from producing a 300-kilowatt laser that will be able to take down enemy cruise missiles and other weaponry, replacing, the decades-old traditional method, which is basically meeting missile with missile. That is, of course, if a cruise missile could be detected in the first place, since they fly low and slow and aren't easy to detect. So for more on the technology being developed in the 21st century warfare, investigative journalist Ben Swan is joining us in studio. So Ben, first, it was Space Force.
That's right.
Everyone laughed. Now we are learning of these lasers that'll be used from the ground.
That's right.
Tell us about these developments.
Yeah, so essentially what this is high-powered lasers that use fiber optic cables and big groupings of those cables that centralize and focus a laser beam in order to be able to, as you said, knock down, ultimately, a cruise missile. That's the goal of it. By the way, I should say, it has not worked so far. There's absolutely, it's all theoretical, right? Nothing's actually taken place that's been proven that it could work.
So they don't
part of the
even
reason
know
for that is because of the intensity of the laser. You mentioned that we're a few years away from having a 300-kilowatt laser that could do this. But there's also testing being done on 500-kilowatt and then beyond that, even a megawatt laser, which would be able to do this. So we don't know exactly what it will take to be able to knock this down. There are 3 companies competing with each other to bid on it to figure out whether or not this will even work.
Yeah.
But that's where we're headed.
I mean, they say they'll have or the DoD at least says that this should be done and developed by 2022. I mean, we're basically in 2020 right now.
Yep.
So who are these big players? Are they, the common names that we hear of, like Boeing's, the Raytheons? I mean, who are they, and how big of a contract do you think this will be?
Well, it's a huge contract. So the Department of Defense has already, and the Pentagon has already put about $70 million into this for 1 year. And so 2020, the budget for that is unclear at this point. Now, I don't know the names of the companies that are doing this because those are not being expressed. But what we know is that there's at least 3 of them, and that 2 of the companies right now are actively working to be able, as I said, to create this system that essentially is using many of the same technologies that you would find in a grocery store when you scan the items at a grocery store, the same type of laser.
Whoa.
That's the kind of technology that they're using. It was kind of interesting. But here's what's really interesting is
That's bizarre.
I know, it kind of blows your mind, right? But the Pentagon, one of the things the Pentagon is saying about this is that they are so committed to this idea that they recognize the 3 companies bidding on it right now, their words, will probably fail at what they're doing. But there's so much money being allotted to this right now that there's enough room to bring in additional contractors to compete for multiple years into the future to figure it out. Right now, the 3 companies that are bidding against each other, the Pentagon says, are not using the same tactic. They're actually using competing technologies with each other to figure out the best way forward.
So there are multiple ways to skin the cat, I guess.
We're going to find out. There might only be one way, but no one's sure what it is yet. So that's what we're trying to figure out.
That's where we're at. Yeah, nobody knows how it's going to work, but this is what they want.
Coming off.
Yeah, some way or another, the cat is going to get skinned. Okay, so obviously, Ben, 21st century warfare. I mean, it really seriously is beginning to look more and more like all the stuff we see in movies, stuff coming out of Hollywood. So as this technology continues to change the landscape of warfare, Ben, will we eventually see like a whole army of like robot soldiers and the human soldiers just being the ones pushing the buttons? And I want to add a philosophical angle to this. Doesn't this kind of make warfare kind of trivial, since you kind of no longer see hand-to-hand combat there? You're not seeing your enemy eye to eye anymore. I mean, we're just distancing ourselves, right?
Yeah, so I think that's a fair question. Look, I think we have to separate these two things. So what we're talking about with the lasers shooting down the missiles, when we talk about defense spending, this is actually defense spending if it's used this way, because it is designed to say if a missile is fired at the U.S., you can knock down that missile. Knocking down a missile does not destroy people's lives. It doesn't blow up communities and destroy their water sources. So I think there's an actual defense mechanism here. But you raised the issue of autonomous killer robots and essentially what the
that's all where the technology is going.
Yeah, that's what they're building right now. They are building these technologies and AI, sophisticated AI that would do this. And so that's another issue. That's the issue of where you are allowing AI to determine who lives and dies, creating robots to really separate yourself from the gruesomeness of war. That's a separate issue. So I think we are headed in that direction, and that's a huge negative. But in terms of the lasers being able to knock down missiles, I think that makes a lot of sense. And it's ultimately would be less wasteful than, again, firing a missile into the air to try to knock down another missile. Yeah.
Probably more precise and accurate.
You would think so.
All right, so there is some good spending, people, that happens at the DoD sometimes.
Maybe.
That's
a whole other debate.
Good-ish.
We'll talk about that some other time.
Good-ish. We'll leave it at good-ish.
Spending, yeah.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Ben Swan, as always, appreciate your take. Thank you.
No, thanks.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.
Yeah, you see that? They said they want to shoot lasers, right? And Esau's a motherfucker, man. Because they really want to be like Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. They really want to be like Yahweh Shem Yahushua because they know that the heavenly angels is coming back to shoot lasers at this place. Just bear with me real quick. So I can find a scripture. But yeah, Esau, they really want to be like, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Here we go. Kind of the water Yahweh Shem Yahushua for that. This is Isaiah 14, verse 14. And it reads, matter of fact. All right, we're going to start at verse 13. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." All right. So Esau is saying, man, he's going to be like the Most High. And what's that? They want to shoot lasers now, And that's heavy because they know that when Yahweh Shah comes back with the heavenly angels, the angels going to shoot them lasers, man, that concentrated heat, on these people, man, and on this place to burn it up. The same way they did in Sodom and Gomorrah, So Esau knows the scriptures, man. They playing games. They want to be like Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but they can't. And furthermore, they're going to with a technology like that. They said they don't even know if it works, man. All right, so they what she say, like she said it's going to be like the movies. Yeah, it's going to be like a movie, man. It already is a movie. It's Yahweh Shem Yahushua's movie, man, and we what characters in it, And they what? Ultimately, they're going to try to shoot them lasers at what? The chariots, man. And they going to get jacked up, man. They going to get jacked the hell up, man, for trying that, you know. But, hey, man, that's what Esau's trying to do. You know, it's almost over, Yasharala. Just stay strong, you know. And with that, man, I hope that this lesson was edifying. I hope it made sense. I hope I didn't ramble. You know, until the next lesson, I'm going to say Shalom, Yasharala, and death to America. We almost out of here. Shalom.